Good afternoon, students. I welcome you all to this English class. Today we are going to learn the fifth stanza of the poem called Our Casuarina Tree, written by Toru Tat. This is the third part of the poem. If you haven't seen the first two parts, better you can watch the first two videos of this poem. Then we shall watch this third video, which would be better to understand. Before we enter into the fifth stanza of this poem, let us recap of the four stanzas. We learned in the previous videos that this poem is an autobiographical one because we can know about the poetess very well in this poem. For example, she has written about France and Italy in this poem. So we can be sure about that she has gone to such places. We also learned that there are many casuarina tree. It might have been in her native place or in her surroundings. So we come to know that there were many casuarina trees. We also come to know that her beloved people are dead. In her own family, her siblings Abju and Aru died. So through this also we can conclude that it is an autobiographical poem. We also came to know that we can also know that she had known of her own death. Another important thing is that she loves the English literature and has known much about literature. How do we know that she had known much about literature? Because she had known and she had studied nature poet William Wordsworth and other poets. Through this we come to know that she had known or interested in English literature. So that's about it. Let us recap the first stanza of the poem. In the opening stanza of the poem, we learned about the description of the tree, and the tree having a rough skin and being garlanded by a vine, having flowers. That's what we call that as a blossomy embrace. In the second stanza, we saw that new animals like baboon, birds, etc., which brought beauty and nourishing in nature by the poet. In different times of the day, through the window, during the winter season, she observed all that in her house through the window. In the third stanza, we see new relationships are established and many tender memories of her past and present with her siblings are brought out. In the fourth stanza, we learned that it is highly philosophical, knowing the reality. The memories of the tree is deeply touched by the poet's heart, even when she is in foreign countries like Italy and France. Dear students, let me read the fifth stanza line by line. I request you to listen carefully and get few words and lines that you like the most. Therefore I fain would consecrately unto thy honor, tree beloved of those who now in blessed sleep for aye repose, dearer than life to me, alas, were they. Mayst thou be numbered when my days are done, with deathless trees like those in Borodale, under whose awful branches lingered pale, fear, trembling hope, and death, the skeleton, and the time's shadow, and though weak the verse that would thy beauty fain, hope fain rehearse, may love defend to thee from oblivion's course. This stanza describes about consecrating the casuarina tree. What do you mean by consecrating? Making holy. So when you make something holy that has no destruction, it becomes one among the immortal thing. That's what this stanza describes, explains to us. So let us listen and learn line by line. Therefore I fain would consecrate a lay. In this line, the poet wishes to dedicate a poem to the honor of the casuarina tree. Consecrate means making holy. What is the meaning of fain? Eagerly. Meaning of lay, a poem or a song. In Christianity, many have been made holy, many have been consecrated, and they are all called as saints. The saints are equal to gods. For example, Mother Teresa, whom we all know for her charitable work, the whole human being, the whole world accepted her as a saint. She was made holy, and now the Christians worship her. The same way, if I consecrate the tree, who says this one? The poetess is saying, if I consecrate the tree by laying a poem, the tree would become deathless. Okay, the tree would become deathless. That's what it said in the next line. Unto thy honor, tree beloved of those who now in blessed sleep for a repose. In these lines, thy honor means the honor of the casuarina tree. Beloved of those, who are those beloved of those? Beloved of those refers to the poetess siblings, Abju and Aru. The tree is liked not only for me, but also to my beloved siblings. That is why the poetess wanted to consecrate this tree, wanted to make this tree a holy thing. So when the tree is made a holy thing, the whole generation, the past, the present, and the coming generation will remember this casuarina tree. Whenever they remember the casuarina tree, they would remember whom? They would remember Torutut and her siblings Abju and Aru. For that only she wanted to make that tree, or wanted to consecrate that tree. Who now in blessed sleep. What does that refer? Who refers to Abju and Aru? Blessed sleep refers to sleep of death. Her siblings Abju and Aru are in deep sleep, which means they died and they are in heaven, taking deep rest. For a repose refers to heavenly rest. Dearer than life to me, alas, were they. They were dearer than life to me. That's what the poetess wanted to say, that they were refers to Abju and Aru. Abju and Aru are dearer than life to me. என்னுடைய லைஃப்பை விட அவங்க தான் எனக்கு வந்து முக்கியம் அப்படின்னு வந்து தோரு தத்து வந்து சொல்கிறாங்க. They liked the tree, and so I like the tree. Since her siblings liked that casuarina tree, so I like this tree. Not that I like the tree, so I like my siblings. Since my siblings liked the casuarina tree, I like that casuarina tree. So I wanted to consecrate, I wanted to make that tree a holy thing. Mayst thou be numbered when my days are done. In this line, if you see, she says about her death. When my days are done, that refers to her death. When my days are done, which means she is going to die, because she has been suffering from tuberculosis. Already we came to know that her brother Abju, who died at the age of 14, also died of tuberculosis, and her sister Aru also died of tuberculosis just before 3 years of Torutat's death. Now she is sure of her death because she is also suffering from tuberculosis. So before her death, Thoru wants to consecrate the tree, want to make the tree a holy thing, so that whenever the people see that casuarina tree, they would remember Torutat and her siblings. Mayst thou be numbered. What do you mean by numbered? The tree wants to be numbered one among the immortal thing. What do you mean by immortal? Where there is no destruction, where there is no death, it would become a ever-living thing. So she wanted the tree to be a holy thing. It should be counted, it should be numbered one among the immortal trees or immortal thing. There were many immortal trees. So among them, this casuarina tree also should be numbered, so that they will be recognized and remembered. That's what that line says. Look at the next line. With the deathless trees, she wanted to make that tree among the deathless trees, the tree which does not have a death. With the deathless trees like those in Borrowdale. Like those in Borrowdale. Borrowdale means a valley in Borrowdale. The Borrowdale is situated in England. Wordsworth has written a poem. That poem's name is Ye Trees in Borrowdale. Ye Trees in Borrowdale. He has written in that poem the benefits and the goodness of that ye tree. And he has made that an immortal thing. He has consecrated it in that poem. He has consecrated the ye tree. Because he thought that whenever the people look at that tree, they should realize the benefit of that tree. So he wanted to consecrate that tree. The same way, Thoreau wants to consecrate the casuarina tree, where every time it would be remembered. That's the meaning of that line. If you observe this, the line, the second line, thy means your. In the third line, in blessed sleep, deep sleep, that we know, a repose always or ever. Look at the fourth line here. The fourth line, dearer than life to me, alas, were they. Than refers to comparison. Whenever in the poems, in the midst of the poetic lines, if you find than, T-H-E-A and then the figures of speech is a personification. Already I told you, if any word is written in a capital letter, any object it is written in a capital letter, that also will be called as a personification. So here than also becomes a personification. And mayest, which means a second person singular simple present form of may, we call that as mayest. Again, thou refers to you. Already we had seen in the previous stanza. Refers to you. And next, if you see, that is called the ye tree, where William Wordsworth has written, a nature poet has written the poem that's called a ye tree in Borrowdale. That's called that ye tree. Let us go to the next. Under whose awful branches lingered pale. Here awful means fear with respect. When she sees the tree, a sort of respect is observed. It's not that hate, it's not of that simply leaving and going. When she sees that tree, a sort of a respect is observed. Because under this tree only all her childhood memories happened. That we all studied in the second stanza. What she enjoyed from her house by opening the window. All her childhood memories have been recollected and thought about it. Fear, trembling hope, and death, the skeleton, and time's shadow. All these words refer to the synonyms of death. Fear, trembling hope, and death, the skeleton. If you look at what do you mean by skeleton? Okay, Manda word. Death again refers to lifeless. Trembling hope also refers to a sort of death. Fear. Okay, all these are referring to the synonyms of death. Fear, suffering from tuberculosis, because she is suffering from tuberculosis. She is fearful because she does not know when does that death come. That's why she is fearing of that one. When she was on the bed, she wrote this poem. Now you understand that when she was on the bed, she wrote the poem. Her brothers and sister too died of tuberculosis. Trembling hope. She has lost her hope of living because she is suffering from tuberculosis, and at any time or any way she will die. That's what she is afraid of it. She has lost all her hope of living. Death may come at any time. The skeleton, the death, both refers to the same meaning. And then look at the next line, and the time, the shadow. The time also chasing her towards her death. Okay, her shadow, as she walks, her shadow goes forward some time. Her shadow is always coming along with her. That also refers to her death is chasing her. And though weak the verse, I am going to consecrate the beauty of the tree. It will be a song like a song of praise. That's what the meaning of it. And though weak the verse, that would thy beauty feign, oh fain rigors, may love defend thee from oblivion's curse. Oblivion means forgetfulness. It may be cursed to forget everything when they have forgetfulness. They may forget Abju, Aru, and Thoru, including the tree itself. So she wants to make the people to remember the tree for ains due to the power of love. That love will defend the everyone. Okay, when you think about that tree, all that will be remembered. Thus, the poet has succeeded in immortalizing the casuarina tree, akin to Wordsworth immortalizing yew trees in his poem. Thus, the explanation of this poem, Our Casuarina Tree, written by Toru Dutt. If you observe some of the meanings here, lingered, which means remained. Lingered means remained. And feign, already we have know the meaning, eagerly, and defend, which means sort of protect. So next, let us move on to the figures of speech from this stanza. Dearer than life to me, alas, were they. It's a personification. Already I told you in what way this belongs to personification. With the deathless trees like those in Borrowdale. It's a simile. And another figures of speech is the literary allusion. Okay, what do you mean by literary allusion? It's a simile. Like, the word like is there, so it is called a simile. In what way it is called a literary allusion? Like those in Borrowdale. Like those in Borrowdale. This line is taken from another poem written by William Wordsworth. This underlined particular words, you find it in the natural poet William Wordsworth's poem that is called Yew Tree. Since that words are taken from that poem to this poem and connected here, this kind of connection, this kind of attachment is called literary allusion. Okay, let us also see some of the appreciation questions belongs to this stanza. I have given a few appreciation questions. You can read it by yourself and know the meanings in each and every line and understand in better manner. Here the meaning is given there. Borrowdale is a valley situated in England, and whom thou refers to casuarina tree, and the explanation of the allusion is given here. You can read it by yourself. And in the last lines, you can also see some of the words here. Why are the words fear, hope, death, etc. capitalized? The words are capitalized because they are personified. I hope you have understood very well. You have known each and every line of this poem with the meaning. If you have any doubts, you can view the previous videos and you can read the book and understand. If you go back and watch all the videos belongs to this poem, you will better understand. And that's the end of this poem Casuarina Tree, written by Toru Dutt. So I would request you to watch all the three parts of the videos of this poem. So definitely you will understand still better and come up with a good understanding. Thank you.